stick game on your hands, which would be not what we all expected. Put it that way. Well, we're going to have a change in the bowling. Before we get to the end of the power play, funnily enough, we are going to have... Where is he? His first ball, flat tap by Sadira. So it turns. Now, there wasn't any turn for the Sri Lankan bowlers. But now
that looked like that grip.
It did, didn't it? Maybe that's what happens later on in the day. It cools down. Through the keeper, though. No. Maybe that's the difference. You get turn when bowling second. That's tossed up, too wide, cut hard by Sadira.
Yeah,
but it goes out to the man at point.
He needs to.
And there's no run.
Needs to sharpen his line a little bit because he's bowling quite wide and the spin is taking it very.
Yeah. Well, as long as they're not hitting it, that's down the leg side. That one doesn't turn and goes straight on. It probably will be a wide, or it'll come as a pad. Did he give it? No, must have hit his pad. It wasn't given as a wide. Down the track, that's a great hit. Oh, has he got enough on that? I'm not sure he has. Yeah, he has. Just. There's no one down at cow corner as well. Down the track came Sadira. Not quite to the pitch, but he's certainly got enough to get over cow corner. There's no one down there anyway. And it's made its way over the boundary for 6 more. Good use of the feet. Hit it quite low on the bat. And it seemed to falter a bit in the air. There was no one down there. That one's tossed up and driven by Sadira inside the man at cover. Out to the man, out long off. And we'll have 1 ball left in the power play.
Well, there is the possibility that Sri Lanka will double up the score that South Africa made, but it's not about the first 10 overs.
No, but you've got to carry on.
Yeah.
So, last ball of the power play. Keshav is in. It pitches. It turns a little bit. Kusal Minas helps it down to a man who's the opposite of the man on the 45. He's the third man on the 45 on the edge of the third man. 30-yard circle. It's a dot ball, there is no run. 94 for 2 after 10. We're going to have a change.
I think it's just Tony for you, I think.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Is Tim still having problems with his internet?
Yes, yeah, they've had power cuts in Johannesburg.
Dear me.
Yeah, I'm just moving across to comments. You're doing ball by ball now?
Yeah.
Well, I've got to say, I'm very pleasantly surprised. I was not anticipating this, and it makes it all the more interesting having some real fight from Mendes, notwithstanding the fact that they've only made 22 runs, the rest of the team and extras combined.
That might be the issue.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Rabada who's going to take this next over. Wraps Sadira on the thigh pad, too high for any sort of LBW shot. Take a leg bar. Afternoon, Tony.
Hello again. Good to see you all. Did you know? I mean, Sri Lanka here have almost doubled South Africa's power play score. Not quite, but as near as.
The next 10 overs for South Africa went for 70. So I think that this next 10 overs kind of becomes the acid test. As Rabada's in again to Mendes. It's off. Well, I was going to say either an edge or a guide down to third man, and that'll be a single. 96 for 2.
When you're chasing such a huge score, you just can't afford not to keep the run rate going, because it very, very quickly steeples to something unachievable if you don't.
Yeah. It's so much more pressure batting second in a situation like this. This is pushed into the colours by Sadira, fielded at deep cover.
There's no opportunity for them to do any boring middle overs. They've just got to keep going.
Well, so far there have been 0 boring overs at all.
Yes, indeed. The other thing they're going to face is the fact that the ball's going to be softening quite a lot.
Slower ball this
much
time.
harder to hit it hard.
Slow ball from Rabada, again guided down towards third man. 4 singles off the first 4 balls. As the Sri Lankan score edges towards 100 in this 11th over. Sadira will take strike, 13 off 9. Handsome looking drive, but unfortunately straight to the man at mid-off. Bavuma does the fielding. The fielding's been pretty ropey though, hasn't it, by both teams? It's probably the most disappointing part of the South African performance so far.
Yes. The question I have is, apart from Maharaj, who can bowl some spin for South Africa if needed? Does Miller do a bit of spin bowling?
Possibly.
We think Markram.
Markram is a bit military medium.
No, is he medium? Okay.
Missed attempt at the wrap shot by Kusum Mendes with the last ball of the over, and at the end of 11, Sri Lanka on 98 for 2.
Right, over on YouTube, you probably had this conversation, Suter, something about getting a 50 before anyone else in the team has scored a run is madness. He didn't quite do that, did he?
He did.
He did. So literally, he got 50 before anyone else had got a run. 50 on his own, basically.
So, yeah.
Wow. That's Kusal. I mean, it is the Kusal Mendes show at the moment. That's pretty much it, I think, at the moment. I know Leah had already confirmed the jingle was based on Iron Butterfly.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, social media is a little quiet today, I'm afraid, Tony. So you'll just have to take it easy.
I'm quite happy to just chill and watch. It's been cracking stuff. I also love the way the lights play on the sort of quirky shape of the stands on the Arun Jaitley Stadium. Yeah. It just looks fascinating, doesn't it?
There's a pretty decent crowd in there now, too.
Yeah.
Maharaj,
a long way from full.
Maharaj starting his second over. This one turning away from the bat of Mendes, but a push into the covers brings no run.
Well, if it holds about 43,000, so it's nearly half full, so probably about 23,000 in there.
Down the leg side.
Maybe.
Down the leg side, but caught up in the gloves and pad of Maharaj and drops safely to the ground. No run. Mendes goes back in his crease, short delivery, but can only be guided down to long on, and Mendes will take a single, move to 75.
ETH, by the way, does tell us, ETH on YouTube, that Markram bowls off spin. Definitely not Miller. So I was right. I said he bowls some serviceable, just spin.
There you go.
Thank you, ETH. I do love it when people basically say I'm
down the track comes Sadira, chipped over the covers, couple of bounces, 4 runs, bringing up the Sri Lankan.
Yep, 100 up.
10 more hits
in unbelievably rapid fashion, but all due to one bloke.
Yeah. Sadira tries to come down the track, changes his mind, pushes the ball to mid-wicket. Markram fields, and there'll be no run, and just 1 ball left of this 12th over. Sadira is 17 off 13, Mendes 75 off 40, which is insane.
Yeah, it was clear that Mendes prefers to have pace on when he's hitting, doesn't he?
Swept away by Sadira, brilliantly placed backward of square on the leg side, and that will go for 4.
I'm 4. Have you met me before?
Quite why it says 3 on the scorecard, and in the ticker on the screen is beyond me. And there's the correction at the end of 12 overs. Sri Lanka are 107 for 2. Tony?
I was just looking up Aidan Markram actually, and he did in the warm-ups against New Zealand. He did bowl, took number 33 though, so he was wicketless. But they were giving him a whirl, probably thinking that they might well need to.
Rabada in.
Indeed.
Driven by Mendes, but a great dive on the edge of the circle. Prevents a fall, but cannot prevent a single. Lovely looking shot there.
Yes, so they're currently scoring at 8.87 per over. The required run rate now is 8.48 per over. So despite the onslaught, they've still got an awful big hill in front of them.
The onslaught is par as that thuds into the pad, dribbles into the leg side, no run able to be taken. And I think that becomes the bit that's the most wearisome, I think. It's not the idea that you've got to that pace, but having to sustain that pace for the entirety of the innings.
Yes, indeed.
Becomes the most difficult thing. Rabada in again, just a slightly slower delivery, guided down to third man, and there'll be a single.
Well, you already slightly sense, don't you, that it's all about one man and one wicket. If Mendes can sort of get a second wind, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we do know, but it could be a heroic failure. If they lose him, well, I think the rest may follow in fairly rapid order.
Could do. That is edged and taken. Mendes is out.
Oh, there you go.
Mystic Bish strikes again.
Oh, Tony, what are you done?
All I said was he was an important wicket. I didn't say it would come right then, although I have to say it did. At 3:15.
A wild slash outside the off stump. And Mendes goes for a tremendous 76.
I have to leave you for a second to fill my water bottle.
Good.
With water, I hope.
Not quite there for cutting or driving, but trying to force the issue as you must in this situation. And a handy running catch by the wicketkeeper behind the stumps, and Rabada is pumped.
How often do we see that in all forms of cricket, though? You know, looking for the delicate cut for the ball that's just too close to your body to cut. I reckon we must see 2 or 3 of those every game that I seem to be involved in. It's good bowling, and it's just the desire to make runs as quickly as you can. You take a risk you might not do necessarily in red ball cricket. You're always looking to try and engineer a shot. It's just too close for the body, and well, it did for him.
Yeah.
Leah was saying the Sappers already feel a tightening of the neck, like a garrote tightening. Well, that's harsh, but I'm sure very probably true. Although that is before Mendes. Yes, Pokey says burn the man which I think is me.
I think that might be you again.
I did something earlier that for some reason I jinxed somebody. I jinxed Afghanistan earlier, didn't I?
No, you jinxed South Africa.
Did I?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Oh, I thought for some reason I'm sure it was Afghanistan.
Quentin de Kock, 100 and out, completely your fault.
Oh, well, no, hang on. I wasn't even on commentary then, so just steady on there.
You. It's Sharif SLvsSA who's going to come into face, guides that ball down to fine leg, but takes a single off his first delivery. Tony, do we want to jingle up our new batsman?
Oh, yes, I suppose we should.
SLvsSA.
Indeed. SLvsSA from Sri Lanka. Where might he be hiding? Well, yeah, I have no idea, I've got to be honest. You may have to hope for the best on him.
Sort of a bit of a Where's Wally, isn't it?
Well, where's SLvsSA in this particular case, but yes.
Pushed into the covers.
Oh, here he is. I beg your pardon, he has been located playing at number 7 for no logical reason at all.
Do you want to play the jingle?
See the young man make great strides, captain the U19 side. No more wait for debut. Chariots coming out, ooh. Chariots coming out,
Do you want to have a laugh?
Do you know what? That is Jeff as the most melodic I think I've ever heard him. That's quite a delightful version of With or Without You.
With the score Nelson for 3. For those of you football fans, Burnley are beating Chelsea.
Ooh,
Hey! I don't care who it is as long as Chelsea are losing.
Yeah. Oh, it's changing the bowling tone.
oh Lord, I wish they'd stop doing this.
It's going to be Gerald Kurtzer who's going to bowl. As that is on sort of middle and leg stump. Mistimed. Ball goes as far as mid-on and there'll be no run.
Gerald.
Kurtzer seems
Where
to
is
be all
Gerald?
bluster and effort and
Oh, here he is.
80 miles an hour.
Largest and royals replaced, loyal and disloyal. They called on Leo.
Something's making Messers chuckle.
Oh, that's looped up and they're going to be out.
Yeah.
I think it might be. Kurtzer looks like
Wow.
a member of the Cobra Kai with that broad-esque headband on. Janssen has taken a super low catch, sliding in. And Sadira has to go for 23. Nelson 4. Yeah, the black headband strikes. Scary.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
That is super bit of fielding, that. Jez? Sliding in from mid-on.
It was a brilliant catch. It really was. Kurtz's reaction, I've noticed this several times. He grossly overreacts every time he gets a wicket, as if he's actually won the World Cup all by himself right now.
Do you think it's a little bit of imposter syndrome? Do you think?
Yes, I do. I don't like it. I don't approve.
It's the overreaction of a man who doesn't think he deserves to be there in the first place.
He's taken 11 wickets in 6 ODIs, chaps. Strike rate of 25, best of 4 for 50 against Australia in the recent series there. I mean, the lad can bowl.
Yeah.
Oh.
The reason I was chuckling, Tony, was the latest YouTube comments from Jeff Perkins.
Oh, hello.
Saying the reason that his melody sounded so great it wasn't him, it was Richard Peel.
Oh, that was. They do sound quite similar, though. We had a debate earlier, and I was told, Bear was told in no uncertain terms by Mog that the one we played earlier was Jeff. And that sounded incredibly. Anyway, whoever, it was a very mellifluous and easy listen. It was nice.
I'm sensing a game that could be played, like the birthday game. But
who's that jingle?
Jeff or no Jeff?
Jeff or no Jeff? Yes, could be. Could well be. So Gerald, old Gerald. Who do you think of when you hear the name Gerald? I was trying to think of famous Geralds. The ones that sprung to mind for me were the actor Gerald Harper, Sir Gerald Nabarro, who was a dodgy politician from years ago, and
his son went to school with me,
and Gerald the gorilla from Not the 9 O'Clock News. Remember the interview with the gorilla? When they caught Gerald, he was completely wild, and the gorilla crosses his legs and goes, "Wild, I was absolutely livid."
Have you ever heard of the writer Gerald Wiley?
Yes. Okay, there's another famous Gerald.
The comedy writer Gerald Wiley.
Gerald Sinstadt, the football commentator.
Jerry Thermstat.
Jerry Thermstat. Yeah. Why? Because he used to blow hot and cold.
Yeah.
Well, there was always Gerald Ford, of course.
Gerald Ford. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that the world's empty of famous Geralds, but just they didn't spring that readily to mind. That was all.
They're as rare as Nigels.
No. But Nigels are a class apart.
Do you know that Gary's are dying out?
Hopefully
Gary's are dying out. What, personally or just as a name?
No, as a name. It's not being chosen. It's Dharmshala de Silva who's going to come next to face the overexcited Kurtzer. He blocks this first ball right in front of him. Should we jingle?
Well, I think we should. Let's give him a welcome.
Here he is, a million miles from home. Says I won't let the base attack cut through me. They need some more runs. Who could score some tons? Just Silva, maybe.
This game has taken a huge turn, hasn't it?
Certainly has. Kurt's a short pitch delivery outside the off stump.
Oh, it's wide.
Well, that's probably the reason why he pulled out the shot, because it was miles over his head.
It's one of these. Pokey's joined the Gerald game. He's upped the stakes with a Depardieu.
Oh, good one. Yes.
Yeah.
This one on off stump and pushed to mid wicket. I do have to be clear when I said Gerald Wiley's not a real Gerald.
Is he not?
Why not?
No. Gerald Wiley was the nom de plume of Ronnie Barker.
Yes.
Oh, really?
He was.
I never knew that.
Absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Ronnie Barker used to write sketches, but felt that his sketches wouldn't be considered properly.
That is true.
So he wrote under a pen name. There's Kurtzer is in again. Back of the length, pulled away by De Silva in front of square. That's going to be a long goal chase. Definitely 2, maybe 3. 2. Score is now 114 for 4. The runs are drying up. Jazz and the wickets are piling up.
Yeah, it's all sort of like we'd been dreading. Well, I'd been dreading. I don't know about you. That the one-man show, when it came to an end, might end in everything else collapsing in a heap, and I rather think that might happen now.
Well, hang on. You say that retrospectively, and it's considered wisdom. I said it proactively, and I'm a witch. How does that? That seems a bit unjust to me.
You said it would be a shame if he got out, and then he got out.
Well, I think my very words were, you sense that the crucial wicket that would change everything would be Kusal Mendes.
Yeah.
Admittedly,
And
it was the very next ball that he went.
And if you're a man-witch,
as opposed to a sandwich.
You spoke it into existence, Tony.
Exactly. Exactly. All I'm doing is observing the impact of your spell.
Jeff Perkins is joined the Gerald game. Gerald Durrell.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Rabada's first ball of his fifth over was defended by SLvsSA outside the off stump. Keep sending your Geralds in, everybody.
Well, Pokey said, is Gerard the French Gerald? Is it? It's Gerard Depardieu, isn't it? So actually Depardieu wouldn't count because he's not a Gerald.
Yeah. I'm willing to accept the equivalence.
Gerald Seinfeld?
That is whipped away through mid-wicket by SRILANKA to a ball that was outside the off stump, and that's a very, very impressive shot that's gone all the way for 4. Given the line and length of that delivery, I certainly wouldn't have anticipated that that's where the ball would have ended up. He's done well to manufacture himself there to get the ball there. Rabada's got figures of 1 for 31 halfway through his fifth over. Prod into the offside field, a call, and then a rejection of a run.
Here's a new name to me. A wonderful name, if I may say so. Cat Cantina Whitlam. Cat Cantina Whitlam. Said no one said Durrell yet, although Jeff literally just had, but that was probably just, I suspect as Cat was typing, Jeff had leapt in with his, was it My Family and Other Animals? Was that Gerald Durrell?
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yes, amongst others.
Yeah.
Defended by SLvsSA, fielded at mid-wicket, no run.
Yes, one of my approved books as a child. There was a limit on certain things. I liked reading the Doctor series, and my parents thoroughly disapproved and suggested the Durrells instead.
Oh, that's nice. I remember reading them and enjoying them as a lad.
Short pitch delivery. That actually bounced twice before I got to the wicket keeper. Yeah, I thought as much. Wide on height. Do that again and be better.
It's going to be hard now, isn't it? It's going to be so hard. I mean, already where is the run rate now?
Yeah, 310 off 35 overs.
Yeah.
So it's now down to 8.11. The required rate is 8.77.
Well, so
8.78.
So arguably they're still on it, but their main weapon to stay on it is no longer available to them. So that's the rub.
They are, and they're not at the same time. As that ball is pushed to deep cover, SLvsSA takes a single. He's on 6, De Silva on 2. 1 ball left at this 15th over.
You're suggesting this is something of a Schrodinger's chase, are you?
Or simultaneously alive and not alive, do you mean?
Yes.
What's the word for not alive? As that ball is defended. And that's the end of the 15th over, and Sri Lanka are 120, which is good.
Well, the cat,
which is not good.
Yeah, the cat from next door had wandered in into our green room and was sat cuddled up with me for a little while. Not Schrodinger's cat, though. Para Badshah says, Tony whispering wickets, Bishop, certain death for any batters.
Yeah.
Leah says there's also that Gerald from those racist Polish fantasy books. Somehow they escaped me. Probably glad that they did, not being too much up on Polish fascist literature. Para Badshah says Depager is a Gerard, not a Gerald. Yeah, no, we kind of agreed that in the end. I couldn't think of any Geralds off the top of my head. See, I said that's it. You have to think quite hard before they sort of do pop into your head. That's the thing about the name Gerald. I'm intrigued by that name, by the way, Kat Cantina Whitlam. Where, if you're still listening, which hopefully you are, Kat, where are you from? Tell us where you are listening to us from.
As Kurt hustles and bustles in for the start of his over, defended with a straight bat by SLvsSA. But it was Gerald who was the Earl of Sandwich who created the sandwich, wasn't it?
Was he a Gerald?
What, the Gerald, was he the Earl of Sandwich?
Yeah, he created the sandwich, was a Gerald.
Was he? Your source for that is just...
Is Blackadder 3, actually.
Oh, well, that's reliable then.
Yeah.
Oh, it was deeply researched.
We'll put that right up there with Encyclopedia Britannica. And
I'll tell you what, if I'm right, I will make you eat humble pie. That is a swing and a miss by Kurtz. Kurtz's delivery by SLvsSA.
It's the sort of thing Ben Elton would have known when he was writing it, I'm sure.
Jeff Perkins confirms, yes, that was Blackadder. Pokey has read all of Gerald Durrell's books and loved them. And Kat Cantina Whitlam is an Australian listening in Nova Scotia, Canada. And as if it's not her real name. Well, we sort of guess that might be true.
You know what, I'm totally wrong. That's Rat. SLvsSA on pads. Blackadder's gone completely out the window here. John Montague, apparently the 4th Earl of Sandwich, invented the meal, changed dining forever.
So not a Gerald at all?
No, because in it they talk, instead of talking about it as 2 rounds of bread with something in between,
yes,
they talk about it as a couple of Geralds. So that's where I got that from.
Well, okay. Wikipedia's got a whole list of important Geralds.
Oh, that's cheating though.
I've never heard of.
Kurtzer in. An attempted pull shot, but a swing and a miss by SLvsSA, and goes through to the keeper. 4-dot balls to start this over.
The 7th Duke of Wellington was Gerald Wellesley.
Was he? How far removed from Arthur Wellesley, who was the Iron Duke, as in Duke of Wellington, Waterloo and all that? 7th, I suppose. 7 removed, probably. Yeah.
He wasn't born till 1885.
Oh, well, there you go.
Kurtzer in, just outside the off stump, angling away from SLvsSA, just defended out into the offside field.
1815 Battle of Waterloo, wasn't it?
He was the 3rd son of Lord Arthur Wellesley.
To to go back to your point, Tony, about Kurtzer and being able to bowl, he was coming in and bowling at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's holding the standard high for Geralds everywhere.
If you're a Gerald,
So well done.
today
him.
you can be proud. Today is your day.
Stand tall if you're a Gerald. Your man's doing you proud.
This one is pushed towards the cover by SLvsSA. He'll take a single. That's the only run off that over. Kurtzer with figures of 1 for 4 off 2, and Sri Lanka are 121 for 4.
Suter who? So it says Tony's very punchy today. I love it. At least not
he's-
punchable. Which would be-
He's like this all the time. It's just there's a microphone for him. That's what.
Pokey says, don't let Mr. Schrodinger look after your cat when you go on holiday. Oscar Robertson, hello Oscar, says, unpredictable World Cup. ETH says, oh dear, Brentford leading Man United. Oh well, back to the cricket. Where are you from, ETH?
Just let that be a Harry Maguire own goal.
If you're a United fan,
Please.
I'm guessing the answer will be probably not Manchester.
Dear me. How many results have got to go against someone? I love
Goal by someone called Jensen.
good.
Not Janssen. Who's, as we
Let's-
know, who's been too busy here.
You say potato. Maharaj has come back into the attack. This ball's spinning back into SLvsSA's off. Bat and pads just dribbles out. Fielded by Maharaj himself. Third over. 2 overs for 16 so far. Bowling around the wicket. SLvsSA kind of reaches and defends with the second ball. And you see that the screw is slowly tightening, chaps.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think so. They've kicked the door open. I would think now.
Yeah. This one down the leg side. Paddle down. Can't beat short, fine leg. Kurtzer there doing the fielding. He's a big unit for him, isn't he?
It certainly is.
Tell you what,
Squarish.
I reckon Mendes was the crucial wicket. As if only someone had pointed that out.
You reckon? Sri moves back in his crease, but can only blow the ball back to the bowler. Maharaj quick with his return to be able to bowl the 5th ball of this over, which is just pushed towards square leg and deep square leg. It'll take SLvsSA to 8 with that single. But successive overs with just 1 coming from them when you need 8 and over is no good for the sporting contest.
And in 19 runs for 2 wickets from the last 5 overs.
Yeah.
It's just not going anywhere, is it?
GNBQ going nowhere very quickly.
But this is where you get to that interesting debate. Do you?
You consultants, you always have to have your little initializations.
Absolutely, as this is pushed towards a very wide mid-off. And that's going to bring the score for 1, 2, 3 for 4.
Oh, nice.
That would nearly make Katie Scott very proud. 1, 2, 3 for 5.
Oh, 1,
listen.
2, 3, 4. Not 5, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the TLA.
Well, speaking of TLAs, ETH.
Well, they're better than LFLAs, which is longer 4-letter.
That's when you're chuckling, isn't it? You've laughed your bum off. ETH, there's a TLA for you. Who said the Manchester United fan? Who I said probably not from Manchester. Well, I was right. Just outside of Manchester, a little place called Cape Town.
Yeah, of course. ETH are the initials of Eric Ten Hag.
Ooh, very good. Deepesh Katwada, 260 all out is the prediction there. You may be right.
Yeah.
I think they'll be doing well to get that.
Edged by De Silva down to 3rd man. Single taken. I think Jez, it feels like there's all the intent, the aggressive intent, is gone as well.
Yeah, it does. There's just no sort of sense that they have any belief that they can do anything, so they'll just hang around and make sure their net run rate doesn't suffer too much. Bat out the 50 overs. And if that's the case, we're in for a pretty dull another 35 overs or whatever it is.
True.
Never dull on cricket.
Cut behind square by SLvsSA. Good sliding stop on the boundary, but that will not prevent. It will prevent 2 runs, but it will also allow 2 runs. Good work.
The crack will be interesting, but the cricket may be dulled, eh?
Don't mention cracks with the bear in the vicinity.
Wow. That brings a whole new slant to the Bear and Bishop podcast.
Well, he should be busily editing tonight's highlights.
He probably
as we
is,
speak.
and then he'll be grumpy about it when he comes up because he said to it so.
Yeah.
Shorter pitch delivery. Sort of comes off glove. Wicket keeper does the fielding. Waiting to see if that was. Yeah, it is. It is classified as a run rather than a leg bang. Yeah. Kurtz looks like all the bad guys from Karate Kid, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, he does. He's a hater. There was some very significant news, I thought, that got very little coverage. That Shubman... Oh, wait.
Slower ball Yorker, great disguised by Kurtz. It was just sort of bunted down towards second slip, and they've taken a very sharp single there. That's a good cricket all round. As we can see, De Kock isn't even dressed to take the field, so something must have happened.
I think he would have got very dehydrated by that time. Same thing happened to Mitch Marsh in one of the games. He got 100, I think, and didn't field because he was just completely dehydrated afterwards.
That's good question. Who's behind the stumps then? Sorry,
Is it? It was the ball that Kurtzer has just balled in the slot, there to be driven but can't beat the cut fielder. Who's the guy who scored 30 odd?
Is it Klassen who's behind the stumps?
I think it might be. I think it is actually. I think it's Klassen. Short of a length on the hip, and with a flick of the wrist, SRILANKA deposits that over square leg. And 6 or 7 rows deep into the crowd for 6 runs. That's what we're after.
You came out of your hand and into my zone. Now it's up in the stands. It's a 6. It's beautiful and it's mine.
I have to say that is my favourite 6 jingle. I think it's great.
Yeah, it is good. I think it is Klassen because Mendes edged behind, didn't he? And it was taken by Klassen, who, interestingly enough, on the scorecard, they don't then designate Klassen as a wicket-keeper, even if he takes a catch as a wicket-keeper, which I think is a bit odd, don't you? Surely if you're playing as a wicket-keeper, it should go down in the scorebook as little wicket-keeper symbol. Weird.
Everything you've said sounds completely logical.
Well, you said in the last minute sounds completely logical. You cannot generalise in terms of what Tony has said over the last 62 years or whatever it is.
Oh, a massive step forward, a swing and a miss from De Silva. Great work behind the stumps from, well, Klassen, who isn't a wicket-keeper. He certainly took that like a wicket-keeper.
He is actually a wicket-keeper as well.
Yeah, this is being reviewed for a potential stumping.
It's very sharp.
Very sharp work from behind the stumps. And if you want to sponsor Guerrilla Cricket's official review process, then just like with the 6s, just get in touch.
Absolutely. If you're an airline or a brewery, whatever, we'll take your money.
I mean, to be honest, it's probably more alcohol that Bear wants than anything else.
Well, you can help us on Patreon if you want to help keep us on air. You get loads of great benefits there.
So it's officially not hit the bat.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's out of his crease at the minute. Because he's got to be behind the line, hasn't he? Or on the line?
He does.
I think he's
got
back enough.
Do you think he's got back enough?
Yes, he's in. He's
I
in.
think so. Although it was sharp work by Klassen, who is a wicket keeper by trade. It's a bit like Bairstow when he's in the field for England. He's not just a large chap wandering around. He is a wicket keeper who happens to be out in the outfield because Butler doesn't want to give him the gloves.
Is large chap wandering around an official fielding position?
Just a little
few
bit.
extra looks at it, but to me that's back, and the toe is well planted, but we need to have several looks at it.
The official
No doubt, absolutely no doubt.
no doubt and not out.
What's making you chuckle, Tony?
Maharaj in as an under edge from a sweep, and Ngidi's not going to be able to cut this off. That's going to go all the way to 4.
Giuliani had his reasons for selecting his landscape seasons.
Well in front of Swear.
What made me chuckle was Jeff Perkins going, is Klassen a keeper or is he like Bairstow?
Good catch there. Not one that Bairstow would take, but
SLvsSA goes back in his crease, tries to force the ball past the bowler, who cannot. SLvsSA's on 17 from 22 deliveries. De Silva 10 from 11, including that 6. 2 balls left of the 19th over. Good stride forward by SLvsSA, but again, just a forward push when they need more lusty blows.
lusty blows sounds like a porn star's name.
Well, I'm not going to get into that with you. The ball just pushed gently to mid-wicket. That brings the over to a close. 5 runs from it. And at 19 overs gone, the score is 139 for 4.
ETH, our friend from Cape Town, says, is Quentin de Kock keeping wicket? Why wasn't he keeping at the start of the innings? He's not. Henrik Klassen is. We think it's simply a case of dehydration and humidity after he did power his that ton. And if you've got another wicket keeper that you can use, I think that is the plan. That's plenty Deepesh, says Sutahu, but I don't know. Oh, the 260. Yeah, they're talking about the 260 prediction.
Kurtz is going to carry on. Ball with some width. An attempted cut shot by De Silva, but flails at it and misses it, and it goes through to the keeper. So if Kurtz can bowl at 90, Rabada can bowl at 90, Ngidi can bowl at 90, Janssen can bowl at 87, 88. It's an interesting fast-paced attack that South Africa have got.
It is, as long as they've got a wicket that gives them something.
Yeah. This ball just dabbed down to third man by De Silva.